people's rock bottom. Don't fear the bottom. Welcome to this episode of Life's Messy, Live Happy. I'm Cy Wakeman. I'm your host. I think you're gonna love today's episode. Kelly Hinshaw Thompson and I got into a really cool conversation about hitting rock bottom, as if that can be cool. But what's exciting about people experiencing their own rock bottom or even consequences at work is that motivates such tremendous learning. It concerns me when we as leaders try and buffer people from their own consequences, or we try and soften the blow or bend reality in their favor or sugarcoat the message for folks. And we don't have to go to the extreme and make it rough and gruff, but I think you're gonna love the conversation that we have about helping employees have a direct relationship with reality. And it comes from two places. One, stop believing everything you think, that's the ego. And two, stop enabling others and quit distorting their view of reality by protecting them from what might be some pretty natural circumstances. This is the part of the show again that I take questions from viewers like you. So if you have questions, submit them at info@cywakeman.com and I'll do my best to get them on the show. This question comes from Aaron P. and he is pretty frustrated with his team. He says, ugh. Okay, that's how it starts. Ugh. Cy, I want to know how I can make my team do what I need them to do, okay? He sounds pretty to the point and pretty frustrated. Here's the bad news, Aaron. It's unlikely that you can make anybody do anything. You're just not that powerful, even if you're their boss and you can threaten their performance reviews and their raises. See, when people ask me, how could I make somebody do something? I usually tell them you probably can't, but you can stop enabling them. See, we can't make people stop doing something, but we can check our own support of their poor behavior and find many choices we make that distorts their view with reality by enabling. So what I want you to be thinking about is, where are you putting asterisks by people's names? It's enabling. They're awesome, but they don't do X. Stop with the asterisks, stop protecting them from their own reality, and just share with them how their behavior is impacting the results you're hoping to drive and what you expect to see that's different. And then when they don't comply, sometimes there's nothing you can do except stop enabling and protecting and bending reality in their favor and distorting their view of reality, because you take away a great motivator. So Kelly is notorious for bringing great concepts back that she's read in other places and having us just think about that in terms of reality-based leadership. She's an avid reader, and I always count on her to bring me some great ideas. So we just got in this conversation about, we'll just call it like rock bottom. Like for our employees to change, we can't distort their view or relationship with reality. And what we do a lot is enable people. A lot of people ask me, how do I make somebody do something? And what I say is, you might not be able to, but you can stop enabling them. And so we just wanted to bring you into this conversation. So Kelly was reading in, what was it, A Course of Miracles?
Course in Miracles, yes.
And so tell me, you're reading about rock bottom. It was just such a great conversation. I wanted to get it on tape.
Because so often when I'm teaching or training, or I'm even talking with friends, right? They're like, how do I get so-and-so to change? How do they change their behavior? And I was thinking, you always hear like when you talk to people, well, how did you change? Well, I hit rock bottom, right? That's kind of a common thing that we say. And so it's really, it's like this visual that you have in your head about how when someone has hit rock bottom, they've actually hit their upper limit of pain. And I'm thinking about that tension between I'm on my upper limit of pain, whether it's loss of a relationship, loss of a job, loss of friends, whatever that loss is.
Or even just my ways no longer working.
Yeah, and I thought to myself, how often have I seen an employee or my child or someone in pain, and I swoop in and I put this pillow down,
Yep.
right? And it's just like, oh, honey, like,
Yeah.
I don't want to see your upper limit of pain. And I'm like, how often have I enabled that behavior because maybe I see them struggling in a presentation and I jump in and I take over.
Yep.
Or I see my child struggling because, she's forgotten her lunch and doesn't want to eat school lunch. And I'm so tempted. I don't want to see her in pain that I'm going to bring her lunch in. But really, I'm just protecting reality.
Yeah.
When really that upper limit of when they actually experience reality, that's what fosters change. How do I keep my people ready?
So true.
Direct relationship with reality. Yeah.
And this is key because we talk a lot about ego, and ego distorts my own view of reality. But there's another element that distorts my view of reality, and it's my leader enabling me. Because the best motivator is my direct relationship with reality. If everybody gets out of the way and stops coddling me, and let's take the child walking. If they were learning to walk and every time they went to fall down, I put a pillow under their butt, it would rob them of the very information they needed for like how much it hurts falling and how difficult it is to get back up and what they could do to prevent that. I keep taking away information from them in the name of helping. And this is when leaders overmanage and underlead. So they get in there and micromanage, where leadership is sitting back and helping people process what just happened, not keeping what's going to happen from happening. And I think this is really hard because our ego tells us pain and rock bottom are bad. But when we think about our lives, my life is so joyful today because of the accumulation of my experiences that no one protected me from.
Yeah. It's interesting. The best leaders that I think back I've ever worked for, never sugarcoated the news.
They also didn't go from silence to violence where they don't say anything for any...
No, they just sat and gave me space.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The best leaders just report reality. They don't bend reality. They don't sugarcoat it. They don't try and protect you from reality. They don't argue with reality. The best gift you can give people is a direct relationship with reality.
We talked about at other times, how do you keep yourself ready? Or what if you're in that place where you've hit that upper limit of pain, which is rock bottom? I think the most powerful question I've learned to ask is, what was my part in that?
Yeah.
And bummer, that question hurts.
Yeah.
Because that upper limit
the
of
ego, because it leads to accountability. So what was my part? Instant self-reflection, accountability kills the ego. And the ego is so painful when it dies.
It does. And in the past, maybe I've put my own pillow down because I'm like, well, they did, or if only, or because of that. And I'm like, you know what? No. A painful exercise is, what is my part in that? What are three ways
that I played a part?
That I played a part, that I arrived at that path? Because if I know how I got there, guess what? I can find my way out.
Yeah, I love it. So it's a great one. It's people's rock bottom. Don't fear the bottom, because that is the beautiful place right before people really discover from this relationship with reality that's unaltered by people enabling or by their own ego, they discover that their way isn't working. And that's the best we can give them. Love that you brought that up. Keep reading. Keep reading.
Working on it.
You bring us lots of great ideas.
I know, what else?
I hope you're really loving this show, Life's Messy, Live Happy. I am so interested in helping you understand how you can live happy and successful in spite of circumstances at work and home. I also hope, if you're loving this show, that you're sharing it to all of your friends and colleagues at work and in your personal life. Here's your assignment. Take an honest inventory. Who are you enabling? Whose view of reality are you distorting? Now, you don't have to be mean or drop them off a cliff. You simply need to examine your own choices and dial back on ways that you're protecting others. Step back as they learn these great lessons that will help them succeed in their future. Don't interfere with that wonderful learning that happens when we meet our own natural consequences.